The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
Wild animals and wild places, they're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors.
You didn't shoot the bear?
No.
This week on Wardens, 3 Michigan COs have a real whodunit.
Can you show me some pictures of you with the bear?
1 dead bear and 3 different stories.
I don't have any idea. That's the honest God truth.
I mean, I did nothing illegal.
We're not saying you did.
It's bear hunting season in Michigan's District 2, which is the eastern half of the Upper Peninsula. Sergeant Mike Hamill receives a call from Conservation Officer John Buskin
Hey, John. Okay, go ahead.
about a possible violation.
One of our Mackinac County officers, conservation officers, John Buskin, just received a confidential tip that an 87-year-old lady registered a bear at one of the local registration check stations, which could mean one of several things. Hopefully it means that she was out hunting and had a successful bear hunt. Unfortunately, a lot of times the person that draws that tag isn't the person that shoots the bear, which obviously is illegal.
Drawing a bear tag in Michigan isn't easy. It can take up to 7 years in some areas. In Sergeant Hamill's area, only a couple hundred tags are given out for the first hunt period. Sergeant Hamill is the first to arrive at the house.
Did you have some luck?
Yes.
Bear hunting? Okay.
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Right.
Back this way, back there by the...
Okay, excellent.
That's my son. My grandson's here visiting.
Okay. Could I speak with you for a minute out here?
Sure. You gotta come in if you want to.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just talk to you over here for a minute. She was holding tight to her story that she shot the bear.
Yeah.
What'd you shoot it with?
30-06.
30-06? Okay. And there's certain things that you can ask somebody, a hunter, that you'll know by their response whether or not they shot that animal. And I could tell by talking to her the whole time that she didn't shoot this bear. And I felt kind of awkward interviewing, or I guess kind of interrogating an 83-year-old lady or an older lady. But I mean, you haven't shot a bear in a long time, so this is a pretty cool thing here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can you show me some pictures of you with the bear after you shot it?
Let me see if... Yeah, I think they did.
So I kind of I asked her to show me the pictures of her with her first bear that she's ever taken. Anybody that takes their first bear or shoots their first bear is gonna take pictures with that animal.
Let me see.
Hit the middle button and now go to the right. There you go.
Oh, okay.
As they scrolled through the photos, Sergeant Hamill didn't see any of the grandmother with the bear.
But she had pictures of her grandson with the bear and a gun.
After seeing the photos, Sergeant Hamill asked the lady's grandson to talk.
I do not want to get your grandma involved in this, okay? I know what's going on, and I don't want to get her involved in this.
What's that?
She didn't shoot that bear.
I didn't shoot that bear, buddy.
Well, I'm not saying that you shot that bear, but your grandma didn't shoot that bear.
The alleged incident took place in this tree stand, 8 feet off the ground, 1.5 miles behind the house. The difficulty of the walk made the officers even more skeptical of everyone's story.
I feel a little awkward talking to her because she's a very sweet lady,
Right.
and I don't want to seem huffy-puffy with her or anything like that.
Right.
Can you help me out here? I don't want to get her involved.
Buddy, honest to God, there was them two, and all I did was help them get it in the garage and stuff. I didn't.
Okay, so listen, if somebody shoots a bear like that, she hasn't shot a bear in years, she said, if ever, because she was saying maybe her sister got one. She'd be taking pictures with it. There's not a single picture with her with the bear with her. All right, she didn't shoot that bear.
Buddy, honest to God, you can do whatever you got to do. I didn't shoot that bear.
Okay, can you help me out with who did shoot it?
I don't
Is this
know.
your father or who is this?
No, it's my uncle and my grandma. They live here.
Okay. Did your uncle shoot the bear? Because I know she didn't shoot the bear.
But I don't know. I wasn't in the woods. I helped them guys get it in the garage. That was it. I was here.
Okay.
I don't have any idea. And that's the honest to God's truth.
In Michigan, every successful bear hunter must bring their bear to a check station within 72 hours. At the station, a wildlife biologist takes a tooth from the bear for aging purposes.
That's all you need, huh?
We collect a tooth from every bear that comes in, and we can send that tooth with the root intact down to our lab and take a really thin cross-section of it and stain that tooth, and then we can count the rings, and that'll give us the age of that animal. So it gives us, across the board, it'll give us an age estimate for our population. And that gives us a little bit of an idea. If we only had young bears coming in, it might indicate to us that maybe we're over-harvesting.
Most check stations are at DNR offices, but some can be at a local sports shop or even a bar. Checking in bears allow both officers and fellow bear hunters a chance to interact, and good tips can spring from these interactions.
I think that it happens more than we know. It's something that they can get away with pretty easily if they do it right. It's when people from the public that see someone like that check a bear in and they give us a call. That's going to be one of the only times that we can make a case off of it, because it's a tough one to make a case on.
When Officer Bobby Watson gets to the house, he and Officer John Buskin interview the woman's son.
What are you guys baiting it in with?
Donuts and, I did nothing illegal.
We're not saying you did.
We're not saying you did.
They get a similar story. That his nearly 80-year-old mother walked a mile and a half back to this stand and shot the bear.
Why are you here?
I'll tell you why we're here. How old is this? Your mother?
Yes.
How old is she?
79.
79. Okay. When a 79-year-old woman brings a bear in, it kind of raises some suspicion, because we don't see 79-year-old women out in the field very often, and you got to understand that.
Where was the bear shot?
I don't know.
Back here? Okay.
I'm not sure.
I'm not saying they can't be there or anything. I'm not. It's great when we do see it. I love it. But we don't see it happen very often, and so it raises suspicion. So we just come down and ask some questions and make sure that it's all on the up and up.
I'm not lying to you, but I'm not. I come up here. I've come up here a few times. When I was a kid, I used to come up here when he shot bear, like that bear hanging on the wall. I don't know, buddy. I'm not lying to you, buddy.
Grandma didn't shoot that bear. And I know this.
So that's all we're doing. We're just trying to make sure everything's good.
Yeah.
So.
There was nothing illegal going on.
Okay.
I didn't just start doing this job yesterday.
I understand.
And I totally understand that there are 85-year-old ladies out there that still hunt, and that's great, but this isn't that situation.
Buddy, I wasn't in the woods. I'm telling you the truth.
All right.
I'm telling you the truth. I understand.
All right, you want to hang on tight for a second?
Yeah.
Officer Buskin recovers the rifle, which doesn't match the grandmother's account.
Ask her what caliber this thing is. She said 30-06. Perfect. What is it? 43. All right. I'll talk to you again inside there.
Oh.
Okay, ma'am. All right. Okay, so I talked to and we know that you didn't shoot the bear. Okay? I'd appreciate the cooperation from here on out. I don't want to get you in trouble for lending your tag or anything like that, and just want to do our job and get out of here, get out of your hair, okay? So he filled me in on the story. The stand's 1.5 miles back there, hip boots, 8-foot ladder stand. You didn't shoot the bear. It was shot with a .243, not a .30-06. Okay, is this something that you normally do, letting people use your tags, or is it just a one-time thing because they're hard to get, right?
Yes, they
okay.
are, at least, you know. And like I say, it's not something I don't try to be dishonest about. I really don't.
The state of Michigan has a healthy black bear population. They are found throughout the state, but hunting the black bear is limited to the Upper Peninsula and northern half of the Lower Peninsula. It can take up to 7 years to draw a bear tag in District 2, making it one of the state's toughest tags to get.
It's a big deal up here. It's one of those hunts that people, try to get into for 7 years before they can get into it. And so they really look forward to it. And we have people come from all over the state and even out of state to come and hunt our bears up here. And so it's a big hunt. It's a big deal.
3 officers in Michigan's District 2 are investigating a claim of an illegal bear. A 79-year-old grandmother drew a tag, but has told Sergeant Mike Hamill it was actually her grandson who shot the bear. The grandson says he didn't do it.
Buddy, honestly, you can do whatever you gotta do. I didn't shoot that bear.
Officers Bobby Watson and John Buskin are now talking to the grandson's uncle.
She's your mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
How old is she?
79.
Yep.
I told you, proof.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I'm everything I told you, except for, that
Right. Who shot it?
has been the honest God, gospel.
Who shot the bear?
My nephew.
Okay.
Your nephew.
The one here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I know. We get it. I understand.
Yeah.
We get it.
We get it.
Is he putting in for points also? Well, I guess we can ask him, but.
he hasn't been.
With the grandmother and the uncle pointing the finger at the grandson, Officer Watson goes to talk to him.
You realize what's going on and everything, so you shot the bear, correct?
No,
You didn't shoot the bear?
no.
Okay, these 2 people are saying that you did.
I didn't shoot that bear, buddy.
Why would your family?
He just said he shot the bear, buddy.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. I didn't shoot the bear, man.
Okay, all right.
Officer Watson's experience tells him that the grandson's story doesn't add up. In fact, the day before, he was investigating another tip where he had to quickly read the signs to determine if a violation had occurred.
I received a phone call from one of our park rangers, and he works at a park up north here, Muskellunge State Park, and he was cleaning out some garbage cans, some of the dumpsters that the campers use, and found a bag, and I guess it was ripped open a little bit, and he noticed what was inside, and it was filled up with some sort of bird. He didn't know what it was. He couldn't identify it, but he said it looked like a little ruffed grouse with orange feet. So I guess we'll figure out what they are once we get up there. He said it was filled up with a bunch of the birds and some shotgun shells too.
Good, how are you? Good.
Are they fresh? Somewhat?
They're wet. There's quite a few in there.
Oh, they're chuckers.
Okay.
And as soon as I opened it, I was able to identify him as chuckers. He had 1 or 2 bobwhite quail in there. Yeah, so he's training dogs.
Okay.
That's what it is. Yep.
I had no idea what the...
Yeah, this is he probably had this frozen or something. Whew, it's a little stinky. That's what it is. He's training dogs.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Field blanks. It tells me that he was simply dog training. It's a pretty easy mistake to make for somebody that doesn't identify chuckers on a regular basis. Yeah, that's definitely what it is, though. kind of an odd spot for guys to be training. But nah, that's good. I think that's fine. Okay. It's legal in Michigan to raise birds such as that and train your dogs on. Chukars are non-native to Michigan, and they're a very common bird that dog trainers will use to polish up their dogs right before hunting season. No, I think that's fine. I appreciate you calling, though. No problem.
A tip can sometimes be quickly resolved, but in the bear case, getting a confession is proving to be much tougher.
I didn't shoot the bear, man.
Okay, all right.
Every successful bear hunter in Michigan is required to submit a tooth from the bear to the DNR. Biologists at the Diagnostic Center for Population and Animal Health on the campus of Michigan State University clean the teeth and extract a small cross-section for study. The sliver is then placed under a microscope where the age of the bear is determined.
So you have cementum that grows on the tooth, and in the wintertime when that growth stops, it creates a line where it shows that stop at growth on the tooth. And so by counting those, we can tell how many winters that animal has went through, thus how old it is.
Besides the bear's age, the DNR uses the information to determine the state's total bear population.
They also use it to determine recommendations for harvest. So based on how that shows the population is growing, staying steady, or declining, that would influence the recommendations that they would bring forth to our commission for harvest regulations.
In the eastern half of Michigan's Upper Peninsula, it takes almost 7 years to draw a bear tag. When hunters take a bear illegally, it's a big deal. Restitution for a bear killed with someone else's tag is $1,500. Sergeant Mike Hamill and COs Bobby Watson and John Buskin are close to solving this case of an illegal bear. The license holder has confessed.
Okay, is this something that you normally do, letting people use your tags, or is it just a one-time thing because they're hard to get, right?
Yes, they
okay.
are.
Her son has come clean.
He squeezed the trigger and it was over.
Yeah.
But the grandson is still holding out.
What's up?
Shot the bear.
No, I did not.
Yeah. What we thought is all coming full circle here, and we're just grabbing some evidence, getting digital pictures, grabbing some firearms, the bear carcass, or hide and skulls right here. So still work on this gentleman a little bit and see if we can get a confession out of him yet. We really don't need one at this point. We're going to end up in court over the whole thing. However, it would be nice just to kind of seal it up right here and take care of it right here without question.
While Sergeant Hamill gathers some evidence to photograph, the suspect's uncle asks to talk to his nephew.
So eventually the uncle, realizing that the gig was kind of up, went and spoke with the nephew himself and told him that, hey, these guys know what's going on. Be honest, be straight with them.
A short time later, Officer Watson joins the conversation.
I'm an avid hunter. I mean, I love it. I got an opportunity to do it.
Sure. Yep.
100% truth. Went out there, sat in the stand, it come in. Went to go to the bait pile, shot it right in the back of the head.
You?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
100%.
Well, I appreciate you coming out with it.
Tell your buddy I'm sorry for lying to him, man.
Hey, it happens. It happens. It happens.
I didn't want to get my mind. No,
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, but
that's honest guy's truth.
Right.
I went out there.
I'll shake your hand.
I went out there, come in, and went to go to the bait pile. I shot it right in the back of the head. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
100%.
Well, I appreciate it.
Sorry, man.
I appreciate it.
I shouldn't have lied to you.
No. I knew what the story was, but I understand. It's all right.
Ever since I've been a kid, I've been an avid hunter. I got the opportunity to do it. I know it was.
No, totally understood. I'm just glad we're done with it. And
we're set, yeah.
Okay.
We'll work it out and figure out what we got to do from here and, fair
Move
enough.
forward. Yep.
Right?
Full confession on everybody. Straight up illegal bear case. The individual that shot the bear did not have a license at all. So he held out strong until we got the other two members of the party to confess. and then he ended up rolling, so confessing to shooting the bear. So right now we're just kind of tidying things up, seizing guns, seizing the bear here. We're gonna get the meat out of the cooler, go take some pictures of the kill site, and get some locations on the kill site and whatnot, and put it all together for a report and go from there.
The grandson would plead guilty and pay nearly $3,000 in fines and restitution. Also, the rifle he used was condemned, as was the bear itself.
That complaint went about as good as it could go for the second day of bear season, 2016.
In Michigan's District 5, Sergeant Brandon Kieft has mostly public land to patrol. The Huron National Forest and its 500,000 acres stretch across his district and offer the sportsman a wide range of activities. From small game hunting.
How long you been out?
Probably 20 minutes.
Okay.
To fishing.
Nothing major, just a basic check.
To driving ORVs.
Yeah, I see your trail permit right there. And then 16 ORV sticker here.
There's lots to do on the federal forest land.
So right now in Michigan, we're located about right here along Lake Huron.
Sergeant Kieft is on patrol looking for the unusual.
Oh, there he is right there. How's it going? Good. We saw a gentleman with hunter's orange on coming down the road. He saw us, we saw him, kind of spun around, and he was coming to pick up a deer.
The state of Michigan routinely leads the way when it comes to deer hunting numbers. The state has a whitetail population near 2 million and is one of the top states for both firearm kills and bow kills. In 2016 alone, more than 1.3 million deer licenses were sold in the state of Michigan. The firearms opener on November 15th is treated like a holiday in Michigan, but the season really starts with the youth hunt and early season antlerless deer hunt in mid-September.
Early antlerless season, is that what you're hunting? Okay.
Yeah, my buddy's actually standing right down here at a double sign with this if you want to follow down to see the deer.
Okay. Have you guys tagged it yet, or?
No, sir. I just got it, and we had to go to the back side of our property over here next to Harold's house.
Okay.
On the next road over to pick the truck up to come over here to get it.
Okay. Do you have a valid driver's license?
No, I just grabbed the truck from there to bring it down. He's sitting in there.
Okay. When we stopped him on the roadway, grabbed an ID from him. He doesn't have a valid driver's license, and he still has his tag in his hand. Deer's not tagged yet.
The early antlerless season allows hunters on private ground to take does or males with antlers less than 3 inches.
Where's the blind at from here?
It's actually straight through on the other side of a little creek. It's probably back there another 200 yards. I mean, it's quite a ways back.
Okay. Did you guys put firearms away already, or?
Yes, sir. His is
Mine's
there.
unloaded
Mine's
right
at
there.
the other truck.
Okay.
I do have a 45 on me. I got a permit to carry it.
Okay, so you have a CPL?
Yeah, do you want it?
Nope, just go, well, I'll take a look at your license.
Okay.
I'll look at your CPL and make sure is your gun unloaded right now?
Yes,
or?
sir. Yes,
okay.
Sir. I got the magazine right here.
Excellent. And then your firearm is?
On the other side of the property, another 80 acres over, and the other fire are in the other truck.
Okay. Where did this one get shot from?
Straight back that way at my blind.
Okay. I got a couple issues today. Okay. One issue being that we got a deer sitting here. It's not gutted, but you're dragging it out toward the road and you don't have a tag on it. Okay. Normally we tell you tag before you drag. That's kind of the rule of thumb here in Michigan is it's got to have a tag on it. Okay. The other issue I have is I haven't ran your history, but you were honest with me and you told me I don't have a driver's license. It doesn't sound like you're going too far to come pick this thing up, but you still can't drive in Michigan. If you don't have a valid driver's license, I can't have you driving the vehicle.
This antlerless deer was taken on private property in Michigan's District 5, so there's no issue there. But the hunter didn't tag it immediately and was driving without a valid license.
The problem that we have with these circumstances is when you're this close to the roadway, we're not even 50 yards off the road. A lot of times when we catch people that close to the roadway, we have to make a determination. You sound like a good guy, but we got to make a determination. Is he going to tag it or isn't he going to tag it? Okay. So I'm sure you're gonna, but at the same time, that's part of the rules is that just get the tag on it instantly. Okay.
This deer was taken on private property as part of Michigan's early antlerless season. But the hunter didn't tag the deer and was driving without a valid license.
Well, our subject here has a suspended driver's license. He's not supposed to be driving, so he didn't go very far with this truck, and he's got another occupant here. So what we're going to do is turn the vehicle over to a registered or licensed driver, and he failed to also tag his deer on time, so we're going to issue him a citation or a summons for failing to immediately attach his kill tag to his deer, talk to him about the driving issues, and ultimately we're going to let him keep his deer. He doesn't have any prior violations from us. It doesn't look like it's a habit for him. Just looks like it's a honest mistake. But we tell all these hunters a lot that they need to tag before they drag. So in this case, he got it almost all the way out to the road before running into us. And now it's a matter of, do we know if he's going to tag it or not if he doesn't see us? So that's where we're at.
Sergeant Brandon Kieft allows the hunters to drag their deer to the truck before issuing the citation.
Yeah, I'm going to have you tag it before we get it too far here. So I kind of met you halfway on this one, okay? I looked at your driving history. Sounds like you've had some problems with the driver's license. I'm not going to deal with that today. I'm not going to do anything with it. As conservation officers, we are fully commissioned police officers, so we always look at that when somebody hands us a license, whether or not they have an ID card or whether or not they have a valid driver's license. So today, since you have a licensed driver here, I'm going to have him take the vehicle. I'm going to let you guys load up the deer. I did issue you a ticket just for not tagging the deer right away, okay? You got to do it right after you kill it. Right after you drop it, put that tag on it. So I'm going to let you tag the deer. I'm going to let you keep the deer. I don't want to take your deer from you. I wrote it for failing to immediately attach versus not having a license. That would be a more serious violation, and we'd be seizing the deer if you didn't have a license. So, yep, it's a lesser charge. You contact the court; they'll tell you how to go about taking care of it. Okay?
Thank you very much. You guys
Take
have
care.
a nice day.
All right.
Would you happen to have a zip tie in the truck?
You know what? I do. I do. Yep.
Hunting blinds on public property, like at Huron National Forest, are allowed in the state of Michigan. But they can't stay out year-round, and they must be marked with the owner's name and address. Sergeant Kieft knew of one such illegal blind. He found it over a year ago, and it was not properly marked. On top of that, the blind was also baited. Baiting for deer in Alcona County is illegal, and there are bait restrictions when hunting bear. He believed the blind was being used for either bear hunting or the youth deer season. Along with Officer Jeff Panich, they went to check it out at night in hopes of finding the owner.
I almost think the ORV trail is a better option because if they have the ORV back there, we're going to see that because they park it along that trail. We're going to see that first. Going to and from where he's at there, we're going to have to kill a lot of lights.
The officers hope to catch the hunters in the act.
Okay, go.
As Sergeant Kieft got ready to walk in on the ORV trail, two hunters on quads came driving past.
Coming this way. Stop! Stop! Conservation officer. Stop. Shut it. Kill it. Go ahead and kill it. Where are we headed?
Track a deer.
Okay, where's it at?
In Michigan, the early antlerless season runs the same weekend as the youth hunt. The antlerless season is for private land only, while the youth hunt is good for both private and public land. Sergeant Brandon Kieft and CO Jeff Panich were checking on an illegal blind on public land when they ran into two hunters on ORVs who were looking for a deer, shot by a 7-year-old who had returned to camp.
You going to what?
Go track a deer.
Okay. Where are you guys coming from right now?
My cabin right up the road.
Well, one of the problems is neither one of you guys have a helmet.
Yeah,
That's problem number one.
Sergeant Kieft and Officer Panich think these are the hunters using the illegal blinds and illegal bait. So Panich goes up to check the camp while Kieft helps the hunters look for their deer.
Okay, you go with them, I'll go here.
Okay.
Okay, guys. I'll go with you guys, and he's gonna go up the road. Let's see what we can find, okay? All right. Show me where you think she took the shot, where the deer was when she shot. Go ahead. No, it's not. Not seeing a whole lot of blood. That's a little.
No blood. That's why I kind of stopped with my daughter and went to go get him to maybe look a little more, but.
That's a bad sign when you're not seeing that.
Yeah, I know.
After a short search doesn't turn up anything, Kieft and the hunters head back to their camp to meet up with Officer Panich.
My partner has now interviewed the other half of this, and they have admitted that the 7-year-old did not shoot this deer, that the father shot at this deer, which is sometimes a common problem during the youth hunt, is that a child can't seem to pull the trigger, they're not really ready to hunt, or dad gets overzealous, and in this case, I'm getting some admissions that the dad took a shot at this deer and not the daughter. So obviously, no wonder why he would guess that he hit it, because he's the one that shot. So we're going to do some more interviewing with him when we get back here, see if he'll admit to attempting to take a deer during the close season here.
Officer Panich found 2 other deer back at camp.
The other deer that are back at camp, what do you got so far?
Antlerless.
Okay, both those.
Hey, I'll call you back in a minute.
It's a male, but it's antlerless. He didn't know.
Okay.
Until after he tracked
That's
it
fine.
and found it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
It's
figured
not-
that was.
Yep.
They're both that same
Yeah,
thing.
they're the same thing.
Okay,
Both the
both
same thing.
both antlerless deer.
Yep.
Yeah.
What? How many youth do you got at the camp?
We got 3 youth.
Okay.
Yes.
How many blinds total?
1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Back at camp, the officers try to get the real story from the hunters.
How about we know more than what you think we know at this time? So, who pulled the trigger out in the blind with you and your daughter?
It was me and my daughter put together.
Okay, but who pulled the trigger?
I talked to your daughter, okay?
That's fine. We both kind of just sat there and pulled the trigger together. We're sitting together. It was a father and daughter thing, and it was too heavy type thing, and I pulled the trigger, man. But I have my license also, so it's like.
This isn't the adult hunt, it's the youth hunt, right?
Youth and antlerless.
Okay, well, where is antlerless allowed to be hunted?
Well, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
And we're going to ask you the same question because your blind is on what? Federal land, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the deer you shot on federal land is public land.
Right.
And the early antlerless season is allowed on?
It's on both, public and private.
That's what I thought. Seriously, I did.
The Huron National Forest has a large number of jack pines, which are the central home to one of the world's rarest birds, the Kirtland's warbler. Once nearly extinct, the bird is now thriving in the state's northern lower peninsula.
The Kirtland's warbler is a great conservation success story and is uniquely Michigan, since 98% of the birds nest and raise their young in our forests.
The singing male population of the Kirtland's warbler was as low as 167. Today, there are over 2,300, much of that due to improved habitat. The bird requires a wide range of dense, young jack pines to breed.
It would be impossible to manage this habitat for the Kirtland's warbler without the work and efforts of the timber industry. So harvest of timber is critically important to the recovery of the Kirtland's warbler.
And with increased attention to both improving habitat and decreasing parasites, the recovery team is hoping the Kirtland's warbler will be removed from the endangered list soon. This is a prime example of the DNR working to protect animals, both big and small. Back in District 5. Sergeant Brandon Kieft and Officer Jeff Panich are investigating a couple of dead deer.
How are you, sir?
They originally set out to find the owners of an illegal blind, but that has turned into a much bigger case.
Is it just like a sprinkle bait, or what is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you're one of the successful hunters here?
Yes.
Okay. And where was that deer shot at?
Back here.
Okay.
The 2 deer were taken on public land. In Michigan, during the antlerless season, deer can only be hunted on private land. And now the officers are finding out both were taken over bait. Baiting in Elkona County is also illegal.
We have them with bait on public land and also on private land. Elkhorn County is a non-bait county, cannot have anything at all.
With the violations mounting, the hunters come clean about the blind that sparked the officer's investigation to begin with.
He's come to see the light, wants to say, you know, he knows about the other blind.
I just didn't want to deal with, because they're hunting bear in that spot, that I get in trouble for the
Who's
bait
hunting
being-
bear?
The guy in town, I was going to have them get rid of the bear because they had tags. And the stand over there, I just didn't want no part of it because I didn't know it was illegal to bait for bear. And he said something about grain.
Okay. So when I asked about the other blind, you were struggling?
I just didn't want no part of it because you said it's not supposed to have bait. And I didn't know. And then he said something about grain for bear or something is illegal.
Bait for bears can include fish, meat, and bakery products, not grain or other items used to bait deer.
Now, is there bait down here?
Yeah, I'm being
okay.
honest.
Yep, that's fine.
That's why I brought you here.
Nope, I appreciate that. We did know about this one. We actually saw tracks coming this way back about a month ago.
I don't know if there is. No, there's not really any. I didn't bait it yet. I just thought there was some left over.
Yeah, it's still corn. That's right here.
Well, I was just being honest.
Right. No, that's fine. We appreciate it.
It's been a long night for Sergeant Brandon Kieft and Officer Jeff Panich. They've got 2 deer taken on public land and over bait, both violations. The hunters had private land tags for the deer, and Elkhorn County is one of a handful of counties that does not allow baiting.
Let me ask you this real quick. Okay. Just want to be straight.
Right.
What's the gallon limit, even if we were in a county that doesn't allow bait?
5 gallons.
What? Okay, it's actually 2.
Okay, 2 gallons,
right.
yeah.
Okay,
I thought it was 5.
So it's 2.
I thought it was 5
right.
at first. But
so how much do you think is here between the corn, the mineral block, the sugar beets, and the carrots?
Probably,
if you had to make a guess,
10 gallons.
Okay, so it's safe to say that you would be over the limit if it was not a closed county.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. While we're out here educating, I just want to make sure we're clear on all the rules and regs. Okay,
right.
So that's part of what we're going to tell you today is that you're going to have to remove all your bait.
Now, the officers are finally going to check out what started their investigation, an unmarked blind that had been left out on public land for over a year.
Some other stuff called 330-odd.
So Officer Panich is out checking the baited area there. This is what first led us to this section, because this elevated blind that we'll walk up to here in a second is was kept out after season and was not marked with name and information. And then when we came out to check it this year, it was elevated and also baited. So you decide, when you elevated, how'd you guys get out here to elevate it?
I didn't do it.
I did it with my niece that you just seen, just me and her.
How? How do you get?
I climbed a tree with a come along, a car come along.
Oh my God!
With a semi strap around the outside, and then climbed the tree and raised it and put the elevation on.
That's dedication, man.
I wasn't, like I said, I didn't know I was doing anything really wrong.
Okay. I didn't grow up hunting public land with blind like that. And keep in mind, there's everything from regular wall outlets to power strips with car chargers in there. So, quite the setup. Right in the middle of federal land.
After checking out the illegal blind, the officers have seen enough for the night. They gather and photograph evidence.
So what I'm doing tonight, I'm taking your guns, your 2 guns, I'm going to document yours, and I'll return it back to you, okay?
Besides having 2 guns confiscated, the successful hunters were charged with taking a deer without a license. They both paid fines totaling near $2,000. They both lost their hunting privileges for 3 years, and one had to go to jail for 5 days. The third member was fined $225. Both deer were also taken by the officers. In Montana, mid to late October means one thing: the start of the big game firearm season. There are no shortage of elk and mule deer in the state, and in central Montana, Region 4 wardens never know what they'll see.
We got 4 vehicles. I can see a bunch of elk that are coming across the flat at a pretty big pace.
We respond to a report of a trespass for shots fired and at least 1 elk down.
Oh, it's going to be a long time, but I got the hammer down.
I'm in the middle of a shootout out here west of White Sulphur.
On the second day of the season, Warden John Lasofsky gets a phone call.
So this case started with a couple of individuals that we dealt with last year that came to us with some information basically about an individual that stopped, wanted to show them a trophy mule deer that he had. Hey, what's going on?
Hey there, man. I got a poaching case here for you.
You're a good man. Hold tight, let me grab a pen.
Pulled it out of the back of his vehicle, just the head, and showed a trophy mule deer buck, and stated that he actually shot 2 different deer.
He shot 2 bucks up around Cubs Creek.
Cubs Creek?
Yep. He said he shot both of them, and he put his girlfriend's tag on it, and I don't. He didn't say who. Rather take gray car, 2-door.
The individuals were fairly upset that this individual thought it was okay, knowing that he'd had some problems with fish and game in the past.
Not recognizing the name of the accused, Warden Lasofsky calls Region 4 Warden Brett Logan.
I think I got somebody that you've been dealing with. I don't recognize the name. Yesterday shot 2 bucks. He shot a 5-point mule deer and he shot a 4-point mule deer for his girlfriend that was in the car as well. So it was in a gray car. He's got fish and game history, supposedly revoked.
Recognized immediately the name, and the case started from there.
Warden Lasofsky then notifies Brian Goley, the criminal investigator for Region 4, and the two set out looking for the 2 deer and the gray car.
How's the hunting?
Hunting was great. The seeing stuff and getting anything wasn't quite
The killing
good, though.
was pretty slow.
Yeah.
Did anybody get anything?
Yeah, a few.
Well, all right.
A couple deer we've seen, a few elk, but...
So I'm looking for a little gray car the last couple of days. It's been hunting this neck of the woods.
You guys haven't seen any little gray car around at all, have you?
Was he howling this way or that way?
Going up, coming up.
Okay.
But I mean, he was doing probably 50 on the road.
Yeah, but it was like a little gray thing.
Yeah, little Subaru Baja. It has one of the little truck cars. You know, Subaru Baja.
Okay, good. That's what I needed to know.
I haven't seen. The only car that I saw was that one that was parked, but I don't remember what color that was. I want to say that was a blue car, wasn't it? Green up there, green.
All right, not a problem. All right, no big deal. Moving on.
I don't see any way they could have shot anything in Williams Park unless it was further down.
Well, got any good stories to tell us? Any bad guys doing anything wrong or something fun for us? We're just bored.
We're just bored. Want to go ride horses?
No.
Not that I heard.
Brian, at some point, came down a road, bumped into another individual that stated that he saw a headless deer 50 yards into a fence.
So, where's the deer in that area then?
It's right there on that fence line. I'd say about 50 yards.
Can you see it from the road or not?
I did, but I seen all the crows too, and I took out my binoculars.
So if I'm going down to that private land, what side of the road is the deer on?
On the right.
Okay.
Same side as them.
Well, we'll see if we can figure it out.
Okay.
Give us something to do.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Take it easy.
Have a good day.
Okay. You get that? I wonder if that has something to do with our little gray car.
In Montana's Region 4, the opening of the big game season is one of the busiest times of the year, and this year is no different. Warden John Lasofsky received a tip about 2 dead mule deer. and he immediately called Wardens Brett Logan and Brian Goley for help.
So we may have just got lucky and found one.
A passing hunter told Warden Goley where he thought one of the dead deer might be.
And we weren't sure exactly what fence. We got some good information as far as the location went, and went to that location.
I mean, there's no bodies up there anywhere, is there? Yeah, and why gut it in the burrow pit? No, this is illegal. You know, why wouldn't you gut it up there? And it's yesterday, you know what I mean? So the question is, these guys, you know, if it's the guy I think it is, he's definitely gotten smart. So, oh, I see. Yeah, okay. So they gutted it and then drug it and threw it into this. This will be nice. I'm gonna take that with me. Little phone charger. I bet it's theirs. What do you want to bet? I just like to find. So why would this be laying here? And it's a car. You know what I mean? It's a car. Oh, nice. I got a footprint. Right from the road. This is definitely. So they come down the road right here, stop, and he just comes right here and shoots. And then he leaves. You go get it. But what's interesting, so it's store-bought 270 brass. We need to find that other deer.
Brian was able to locate several shell casings, a cut cell phone cable, and I believe some napkins and a few other articles at the kill site in the ditch, which was just a gut pile.
So I'm just going to take pictures of this evidence of this. So we think these came out of the car. We know these are the shots that killed this deer illegally. So we'll mark it all, we'll do a GPS, and we think we may have a suspect. So we'll just kind of match it up if we get a chance to do an interview. A legal hunter would never gut their animal in a burrow pit. If they shot it way up there, why wouldn't they gut it up there? Why would you drag an animal with the guts in it? Unless you're in a hurry and you want to get it out of here. So, as you go through here, there's a good footprint right there on the rock. Where was that? Oh, right here. I was hoping I could see that, but you can't. But you can tell it's a footprint. It isn't going to show up good enough.
At that time, wasn't sure if it was the same location as the headless deer. Knew that it was something, so we collected that information.
I don't know if those tracks are it, but it's quite possible they are. So that's my print. You know, one thing I'd like to do is just see if they're wearing tennis shoes or what when they cross this dirt right here. I mean, it should show up, but it's not. Ground's just too hard. I think we're good. Man, and you can see where they pulled down and then stopped here for a while. It probably didn't take them very long.
After the evidence was logged, Warden Lasovsky checked in with Warden Goley.
Hey. Brian and I again talked about it today, and we went back to the same individuals that had that information and discussed the situation to try to maybe narrow down where those locations were.
And in that interview, what ended up happening is we came back up here again today, right here.
Scoring a mule deer is very similar to scoring a whitetail.
Generally, the mule deer are just bigger framed and look much larger.
It takes a score of 145 inches for a mule deer to qualify for Pope and Young, 125 inches for whitetail.
There are 4 basic components in scoring both of them. The beam lengths, which are similar, the inside spreads, which are similar, and then the point lengths and the circumference.
The main difference being that a typical mule deer rack has 2 forks, combined with a brow point that gives the mule deer 5 typical points.
This would be the second point, right here. This is the third point, and it's measured off from the 2. This would be the 4th point, and this, of course, the end of the beam. This is not measured as a point, it's measured as part of the main beam.
Those points, plus circumference and spread, give you the basic score.
The spreads would go from the widest point on the inside of the main beam. So you're probably going to be right in here. You can't skew it from front to back. It has to remain at a right angle to the skull plate. So you're probably going to be right in here. I think it's harder nowadays to get a book mule deer than it is a book whitetail, because there's many more opportunities for the whitetail. They're in many more states.
A tip about 2 mule deer killed illegally led wardens to find these cartridges and gut pile, and then to this field where one of the deer was laying.
Right here. It's right here. Spent the better part of the morning trying to find the location and ended up finding the second deer with the head cut off. Well, that's our deer. We basically got a tip that one of our guys that's been revoked and had some problems with fish and game in the past stopped and talked to some folks and had a fairly large mule deer buck. It was a 5-point. Supposedly he also took a 4-point as well, so a 4-point and a 5-point, and in the same location, and that's what he had in the vehicle, but all he showed was the head. And we know he's revoked, we know he's a criminal, and he's a career poacher. He's somebody that needs to be addressed, and so we've come back up here today to try to find where the kill site was, or where maybe possibly there was another deer. And sure enough, we found this mule deer here from the birds. Followed the back track of the road until we found some birds, and this is it. And sure enough, it's a mule deer. The head's cut off. We'll walk up further and see if we can find anything more, but whether this is the same deer or not, we'll have to determine that by some DNA and maybe an interview here, but I'm pretty sure we got this guy on this deal, and he's gonna have problems.
A couple of days later, Warden Brian Goley checks on the address of the suspect's friend.
Is that the car? Yep.
And finds the gray car he's looking for.
That's definitely it. Okay, let's write this. We just think he came up the Smith River Road when he crossed this cattle guard right here, and he came up and there's a fence right here. Okay, somewhere right along here he stopped. Well, we know where he stopped, and there's a drag pile right here, and there's a gut pile in the ditch. What I didn't know at the time when I was there is that up here is another dead deer with the head cut off. So basically, the story is this individual walked up this hill. He shot this deer. When he walked up the hill, he saw the other one and shot it. But I think he shot them both from the road right here.
There was two.
There's 2 deer, 2 bass. He cuts the head off this one, grabs this one, runs it down the ditch, guts it, puts them both in the car and leaves. Then he goes around to mile marker 5, meets with his buddies and says, hey, look what I did.
Wardens in Montana's Region 4 are closing in on who killed 2 mule deer on the state's opening day illegally.
But that car should have a deer that was put in the back seat and a head put in the trunk. So there should be hair, blood, all kinds of stuff associated with it. And I might end up confiscating the car.
Now they are attempting to search the car they believe was used in the violation.
You see this stuff, ma'am? That's the kind of stuff we're interested in.
And I didn't even look at that, so I have not even been.
See this stuff right here? All that. You see how the deer was laying up here?
The deer was on my car?
It looks to me like it was.
This.
The owner of the car gives the warden's consent to search it. And when they pop the trunk, jackpot.
Whoops.
Well, that's interesting. We've been looking for him.
Wardens at the second location find the second deer during a simultaneous search.
I went to another address where we thought a deer possibly would be. There was an individual there that I'd run into in the past. I asked him if the deer was there. He said, yep. Opened up the garage door and showed me this deer in the back here without the head, and said this is the one that showed up at his place when he came back from hunting. So we seized the deer from him, took a statement from him. Now we're meeting back up with everybody else.
We have 2 deer. We did a search of the car. She gave us consent. We found the big buck in there. We found another big buck up at his house. And we've interviewed, he took a little 14-year-old kid with him and used his tag. We interviewed him and his mom, and they have consented to interview and told us the whole story. And so basically we're just kind of finishing up with the bad guy right now.
A day later, the suspect agrees to meet with Wardens Goalie and Lisowski.
But if you could just go from start to finish, that would help us. Just how your day went, where you guys started out with, from and who you're with, that would help us. So how'd your day go?
So then what happened is that buck took off running across the road. He shot at it once, and then I got out, and then shot at it one time, and we thought we hit it, and then took off running again, then I shot again, and then dropped it. And then up right above him was a bigger buck, one that was in the trunk, and then we ended up shooting that one.
They get his explanation for his actions and explain the long list of violations he committed.
And help us out. What makes you kind of tick and makes you think you got to go out and do this even in a season? Because John and I work very hard protecting the resources, and we want to just understand so that we can help people down the road maybe not to do this. I mean, if you could tell us some things about why you do this, what would it be?
Well, I guess I just love the outdoors. And I don't know, I wanted to make jerky and stuff, so there's really no excuse.
In the end, Warden Logan writes tickets for failing to get landowner permission, unlawful possession of both deer, and wasting one of the carcasses. The fines total nearly $3,000. Michigan's District 4 is home to Silver Lake State Park. The park is nearly 3,000 acres in size and borders Lake Michigan to the east. Inside the park is a large sand dune that is broken up into 3 sections. The first section is a private concession that allows for tours via Mack Woods dune rides. The middle section is a pedestrian-only area. The northern section is 430 acres of sand dunes dedicated to off-road vehicles.
That is the only sand dune riding area for ORVs east of the Mississippi. So we get a lot of visitors from states all around the area.
Park rangers typically handle enforcement of park rules and regulations. During the busy summer season, particularly holiday weekends, Michigan conservation officers rotate in to help manage the swelling crowds. Their training in general law enforcement allows them to handle more serious violations.
Going out, obviously, the first priority is going to be safety. Shouldn't be driving like that out here. 2 things. Watch it. And do you at least have a driver's license so I can write down what I spoke with you? What did all those signs say that come up through? But if someone else comes in and this rolls over, they have no protection.
CO Ben Shively has been working out of Oceana County in District 4 for the last 2 years after spending 7 years in District 9's Oakland County, an extreme example of going from an urban environment to a rural one.
When you find that job where you wake up and you don't lean over and hit the snooze button or lay in bed and think, man, I want to call in sick to work today, that you've really found what your calling is. And that's what I find with this job. I don't wake up and not want to go to work. You get in November 14th, and that's more or less like Christmas Eve for me.
In the state of Michigan, November 15th is the opening day for whitetail firearm season. More than 1.3 million deer licenses were sold in Michigan in 2016. On this day, he's patrolling the ORV section of the sand dunes. His main concerns are keeping the park alcohol-free and making sure ORV operators are being as safe as possible.
We're going to go out and make sure everyone is operating safely. We're going to check some high-volume areas. We're going to be looking for alcohol. We're going to make sure that people have their seatbelts on and helmets, and everyone has their flags.
Heading up the ORV entrance ramp, Officer Shively notices a dirt bike that is not abiding by the posted park laws.
I see a dirt bike that's making his way up, passing one vehicle and cutting back in, and then continually passing about 4 or 5 vehicles behind me. Obviously, it's posted about 4 different spots through there that there's no passing on the up ramp, and it's a safety issue. It's a very narrow road that comes up through there. How you doing? Good. 2 things. First of all, helmet's not done up. It does you no good, correct? If you hit and that falls off and everything. Okay, second of all, what did all those signs say that come up through do not pass? And how many vehicles do you think you passed there, or at least that I watched you pass as you came up through there? 4. Okay. You understand the reason why you do not pass through there? No. Okay, it's very narrow, it's 1 lane. So if someone's trying to avoid a bump or something like that, they come across into you, or you throw sand up on them when you pass around. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're familiar with the rules and regulations that require you to have your driver's license on you at all times?
Absolutely.
Okay. What's your first name? And talk to him about his driving and operation on the up ramp, and come to find out it was he'd already been stopped earlier today for operating out of bounds, and he was issued a citation on that. Sit tight, back with you in a sec, okay?
During the summer months, CO Ben Shively not only patrols his home county, but also rotates in to help protect Silver Lake State Park. These living sand dunes are constantly changing with the weather and human usage. It takes a watchful eye to keep the crowds under control. The park entrance is a no passing zone. On his way in, CO Shively noticed a rider weaving in and out of traffic.
Two things. First of all, helmet's not done up. It does you no good, correct? If you hit and that falls off and everything. Okay, second of all, what did all those signs say that come up through do not pass? And how many vehicles do you think you passed there, or at least that I watched you pass as you came up through there? okay?
While running his driving record, CO Shively finds that this rider was ticketed for another violation just a few hours before.
He was also issued another citation, this time for passing on the up-ramp.
The rider's earlier ticket for operating out of bounds is a civil infraction and carries a fine of $110. Officer Shively then writes him a second ticket for passing on the park entrance ramp, which is another civil infraction and a fine of $130. All told, it's a total of $240 in fines for this dirt bike rider.
This is how fistfights start out here. People passing, paddle tire, throwing sand up on another person's vehicle and everything like that, or collisions happening up there, okay? How late are you staying up here tonight?
Probably just the fireworks and leaving.
Okay, well understand, you do not have a headlight or a taillight on this.
You can't ride at night?
You can't ride at night. How are you supposed to see? I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to say you have an extra ticket right now and everything. Okay, so basically, it starts getting dark. You need either be loaded up in the back of a truck, or you need to be down the lot and ride up with your buddies or something. Do me a favor, put your sunglasses on, loop that helmet up like what we talked about, okay? That was one of the other reasons that I had stopped him. His chin strap was not done up, and unfortunately out here, if you're involved in an accident, especially on a dirt bike where you're ejected from that, safety strap is not done underneath the helmet. That helmet comes off in a heartbeat. Not saying that you're wiping out or anything, but if someone hits you and you go flying and that brain bucket goes off, that's not what we want. So, good to go, man. All right, have a good 4th, be safe. Almost every vehicle that comes out here has got some form of aftermarket on it, whether it be rims and tires, exhaust, engine, body lifts or something to that extent. So you have to stay up, especially when you're looking at the four-wheelers. They have the spark arresters that are required by law in order to be operated up here on the four-wheelers. This one does not have the roll bar that's above and beyond the heads of the rear occupants, so. Hi, how we doing? Good. Here's the deal, you don't have a roll bar that's above and beyond their heads, so they actually have to wear helmets. You have a driver's license and everything on you, and it's the main thing is safety, folks. You know, not saying that you guys are operating poorly out here or anything like that, but if someone else comes in and this rolls over, they have no protection, so that's why we required the helmets and everything. So give me just a second, I'll be right back with you guys, okay? Here's your license back for you and everything. Like I said, it's just a safety issue. They've got to have it. When you come up through checkpoint, they should, if you have your kids riding in the back, they should have told you that the helmet needs to be on and everything. When you're operating up around here, you've got to have them on if they're going to be putzing, even if you're putzing along the beach here and everything. So if you guys want to drive back over, grab the helmets and everything, you're good to go then. Okay?
Age limit for that?
No, it's all ages and everything required to have a helmet on if they do not have a roll bar that's above and beyond their heads in the rear of the vehicle, just to give that crash or rollover protection. Okay, guys, have a good 4th. A lot of it is education. If you can educate the individual and have them actually change their habits, operating out here, point out to them what the circumstances might happen if they continue to operate like that. If they're driving fast and not watching where they're going, the injury that might result from a collision and civil liability and things like that, and you start throwing injuries and civil liability into it, that really starts to tend to catch people's attention. If you can do that and get your point across without writing a citation, in some cases, that's the best approach to take.
Later in the day, Officer Shively meets up with lead park ranger Andrew Lundborg. The COs and park rangers work in conjunction patrolling the park under the old adage of 2 sets of eyes are better than 1.
Silver Lake State Park is state-owned and everything, but we have the Law Enforcement Division and Parks and Recreation Division have a very good working relationship. up next to Officer Lundberg, and as we were sitting there talking, I had a black Chevy Avalanche that went by us at a high rate of speed next to my patrol truck. I'd say within 3-4 feet, probably about 35-40 miles an hour. So we allowed Lundberg in the Razor, since it operates a little bit better than a full-size vehicle out here, to catch up to the individual, and we stopped and conducted a traffic stop on him also.
Any idea why I might be stopping you? Did you happen to see where I was sitting? Did you see the other patrol vehicle that I was sitting next to?
I saw a patrol vehicle, that one right there.
Yeah.
Which would have been my truck.
3 foot off of, 4 foot off of, going by at a high speed. Remember that?
Yeah, right there?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was you, I'm sorry.
Shouldn't matter if it's me or not. Shouldn't be operating like that up here because of the conditions that can happen from a sudden jerk of the wheel or something. He's collided into another vehicle.
How fast were you going?
Probably 40.
Yeah, I'd say you
go fast in this.
You were probably at least 40. And I mean, obviously you didn't even realize that it was 2 patrol vehicles sitting there. So things can happen quick out here. You're driving on sand, you hit the brakes, vehicles don't stop like they do on pavement. So somebody comes out in front of you, whatever, I don't want anybody getting run over. So just be careful and safe, all right?
I appreciate it.
In Michigan's District 4, the 4th of July holiday weekend is one of the busiest at the off-road vehicle area inside Silver Lake State Park. COs patrolling the area must be up to date on a wide range of issues pertaining to ORVs.
Some of the sand rails, high travel buggies that you see out here are approaching $60,000, $80,000 a piece. Corvette engines in them, custom paint jobs. All the way down to the $200 special that someone is made and trailered in here in order to run up here in the dunes.
More importantly, COs must be comfortable and confident with the firearms they carry, which is why they spent a week training with their newly issued patrol rifles at Camp Grayling, a military base in northern Lower Michigan.
This is a rifle that we carry with us every day for patrol, because you never know what you're going to encounter, so you're ready for any situation that may come up.
In addition of their conservation efforts, COs also provide general law enforcement duties in the areas they serve.
And we've had some of our guys dealing with bank robbers where they've actually had, robbery suspects that they pulled over and had to engage in arrest.
We want to be as prepared and as trained as possible, so when one of those encounters do occur, that we take care of it efficiently and quickly so nobody else gets hurt.
And sometimes officers are also called on to save a life.
Within 4 minutes of arrival, CO Kovacs successfully applied a combat application tourniquet to the wound, stopping the bleeding.
When that happens, the department honors the CO with the Lifesavers Award.
They're very humble, they're very proud of what they do, but they also understand, they feel that it's their duty to do darn near anything.
I'm an avid outdoorsman, so I love protecting and being in the outdoors. But I also love that we're police officers, so I back up my local departments, domestics and other situations where we're protecting our resources and protecting the people in our community.
It's a lifestyle, it's a passion, and it just means that we're there to protect the resource.
Our officers are very unique. They many times are first responders, especially in the rural parts of Michigan, where the law enforcement groups, smaller forces, smaller departments, and so they're very much integral parts of those departments. They're part of the community. They live and work in the community, they support the community. They deal with recreational safety, they deal with recreational enforcement. They're very important to us. They're fully commissioned police officers, and those are just marvelous attributes to have, especially in the rural parts of our state.
Near the end of his shift, CO Ben Shively is standing near his patrol car when an out-of-control rider nearly collides with a passing Jeep.
Hey, before you start chewing him out, why don't you think about you being, hey, watch it.
You're the one that just jumped blindly over a hill.
Yeah, you were airborne, not in control of your vehicle. Before you start cussing this gentleman out right here, please understand you are the one that is at fault. You understand that?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license on you, sir?
Back at my car tag in no pocket.
It's been a busy 4th of July for CO Ben Shively and Park Ranger Andrew Lundborg. More than 300 vehicles have entered the off-road vehicle area of the sand dunes between 8 and 9 p.m., all looking to find a spot to watch the fireworks. Before the fireworks, tensions nearly erupt as a dirt bike rider nearly collides with a Jeep.
Have you been here before?
Yes, I have.
Are you familiar with the rules and regulations?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so then you know that you're supposed to have your driver's license on you at all times up here.
Yeah, if I had a backpack on me, I'd understand, but I just forgot my backpack.
That wasn't my question.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Does the bike belong to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
How long have you owned it?
I just built it this year.
How long have you owned it?
A couple years, like 3 or 4.
Is this reconstructed VIN going to come back to you? Any vehicle you purchase or you're required to title regardless of its year. So when I run this VIN, who's that going to come back to?
I don't know.
Basically, I saw a dirt bike that was airborne that almost collided with a Jeep that was running across the top of the ridge. Turned around and then saw the individual proceed to swear at the other individual as operating the Jeep, trying to tell him that he was at fault. So went over there to make sure that nobody was injured, and then quickly pointed out to the individual that was getting excited and trying to place blame on the Jeep driver that in fact he was the one that was at fault because he was airborne and not in control of his vehicle. Before you start cussing this gentleman out right here, please understand you are the one that is at fault. Are you okay?
Yeah, he didn't hit me.
He didn't hit you?
No, he fell right before.
Okay. I saw it come up and everything. I saw the sand on the side and everything, and I just wanted to make sure that that you were all right and everything. Do you happen to have your driver's license and everything on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're just making contact with all the different individuals involved and sort out what we're going to end up doing here. So.
He is at fault, obviously, not for you guys, but when he is airborne and is not in control of his vehicle, that's careless operation. So that's what I'm going to deal with here at everything. You guys are running how you're supposed to across the top of a ridge and everything. He's blindly jumping, not knowing what's on the other side. So we will take care of that issue there. So I just want to make sure you guys are all set and everything, no sand or damage to the vehicle or anything like that. Okay, very good. Thank you, guys.
The driver of the Jeep is not at fault and allowed to leave.
No, I just got hit in the face by sand.
Yeah.
And I realized what happened. I'm glad everybody's all right.
While Officer Shively looks further into the dirt bike rider's driving record, he expresses remorse to Ranger Lundborg over nearly causing an accident.
I should have never blown up like that, but you know, I have a hot head.
You've got to be in control of your vehicle at all times, and you know, regardless of him being here or not, looking at your track, I mean, you can see this patrol truck sitting here. I mean, you're jumping real close to that. Anyways.
Shively writes him a ticket for failure to control his vehicle, which is a misdemeanor, and a fine of $275.
You're airborne and you're not in control of your vehicle, you're at fault, okay? So what I did is I issued one citation today for careless operation and the verbal warning on the other things. He didn't have his driver's license on him as is required up here, and he was also operating carelessly or a careless manner. So he was issued a citation for careless operation up here.